We've never seen an athlete like LeBron.
Boom! What just happened? I didn't even know he blocked it, but I heard boom, and I was like, man, that was cold.
Strong, fast, athletic, explode. Like, will we ever see somebody like that again, athletically?
No.
For LeBron to still show that athleticism at 39 years old is crazy.
Here's James. Yes, and a count. Out of 10. James with the step.
This young guy for the team with the best record in the NBA.
40,000 points. By the time the 2024-25 season wrapped, LeBron James had officially pushed his regular season scoring total past 42,000. For a basketball player, that isn't just a record. It's the Mount Everest of sports achievements. It's a number so massive, so out there, that most of us thought it could never, ever be broken. Just think about what it takes. You'd have to average 27 points a game for 20 straight years, and pretty much never get hurt. It sounds impossible. And yet, there are a few guys in the league right now who might just have a shot. So today, we're asking the question, could Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, or even a dark horse like Jayson Tatum actually do it? Can anyone catch the king? Look, before we even talk about the guys chasing the record, we have to respect the record itself. We have to understand the sheer size of the mountain they're trying to climb. LeBron's point total isn't just a number on a page. It's a story of consistency and endurance that the sports world has almost never seen. For 22 seasons, the man has been a professional bucket getter. He walked into the league at 19 years old and dropped almost 21 points a night. And get this, from that rookie year all the way until his 22nd season, he never averaged less than 25 points per game in a full season. Let that sink in. For 2 decades straight, he was a guaranteed 25-point threat every single night. That kind of consistency is just unreal. Michael Jordan had down years. Kobe did too. But LeBron's baseline for 20 years was a level most players pray to reach for just one season. But the points are only half of it. The real magic, the key to this whole thing, is his unbelievable durability. We live in an era of load management, where guys are missing more and more games. Meanwhile, LeBron has been an absolute Iron Man. He's played in over 1,500 regular season games. To give you some context, that's hundreds more than legends like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. He somehow dodged the career-ending injuries that took down so many other superstars. So when you combine that elite scoring with that unheard-of longevity, you get a record that feels less like a stat and more like a law of nature. Anyone who wants a shot at this doesn't just need to be a legendary scorer. They have to be a medical marvel who can stay at the top of their game for 20 years. So if anyone can do it, who's the top contender? If you had to build a player in a lab specifically to score, he'd probably look a lot like Luka Doncic. From the second he stepped on an NBA court, the guy has been a scoring machine. At just 26, he's already piled up over 12,800 career points. To put that in perspective, LeBron was in a similar ballpark at the same age. But Luka's big advantage is that his scoring has just exploded lately, and he's already got a scoring title under his belt. His game, with those crafty post-ups, those powerful drives, and that ridiculous step-back three, seems like it's built to last a long, long time. But can he keep it up for another 15 years? Alright, let's do the math. Let's say LeBron hangs it up with around 43,000 points. Luka would need another 30,000 or so to catch him. If he plays another 14 seasons, until he's 40, he'd have to put up about 2,150 points a year. Assuming he plays about 75 games a season, that works out to just over 28 points per game. For a guy who casually drops 30 plus, that actually seems doable, right? But here's the catch. Luka's usage rate is through the roof. The entire Mavericks offense runs through him, and that's not changing. On one hand, that's great for piling up points. On the other, carrying that kind of load, year after year, takes a serious physical toll. He hasn't had the big one yet, but he's dealt with plenty of nagging injuries. So, can his body hold up for another 14-plus years of deep playoff runs and carrying the offense? That is the multi-billion-dollar question. Luka's path is the clearest, but it's a tightrope walk between historic greatness and perfect health. And then, there's the alien. Victor Wembanyama isn't just a player we haven't seen before. He's a guy who breaks every model we have for predicting the future. We're talking about a 7'4" player who moves like a point guard, swallows shots at the rim, and has a permanent green light to shoot from anywhere. After just 2 seasons, he's already racked up over 2,600 points. Trying to project Wemby's career is totally different from looking at Luka's. With him, it's not about what he's done so far, it's about what he could become. In his first couple of years, we've seen flashes of a player who could easily average 30-plus points a game while being the best defender on the planet. His offensive game is still a little raw, but the potential is just terrifying. He can score in the post, hit the mid-range fadeaway, and drain threes. I mean, how are you supposed to guard that? So his path to the record is pure imagination, but it's a wild one. Let's say he becomes that primary scorer. If he averages 30 points a game for the next 18 seasons, playing around 70 games a year, that's 2,100 points a season. Over 18 years, that adds up to 37,800 points. Add that to what he already has, and he's suddenly right there, knocking on the door of 40,000 points and challenging the record. Of course, the giant, if with Wembanyama, is the most obvious one in sports. His health. No player built like him has ever survived the grind of the NBA for 2 decades. The history of guys over 7'2" is basically a list of foot, knee, and back injuries that cut careers short. But then again, Wemby isn't like those other guys. He's fluid and graceful in a way that just doesn't make sense for his size. He is the ultimate boom or bust pick. If that body holds up, he might not just break the record, he might shatter it into a million pieces. If it doesn't, he'll be one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. But while everyone's talking about Luka's numbers and Wemby's potential, there's a dark horse quietly putting in the work, Jayson Tatum. At 27, he's already got more than 13,700 points and is the #1 guy on a championship Celtics team. Tatum's case isn't about having the highest scoring average every single year. It's about being incredibly consistent and getting an early start. He came into the league at 19 and has been a steady 25 to 30 point scorer for years now. He was even the first Celtic ever to average 30 in a season, which shows you just how good he is at putting the ball in the basket. His path to the record is the marathon route. He'd have to keep up this high-level scoring for another 12 or 13 years. To get to that 43,000 point mark, he needs about 29,000 more. If he does that over 13 seasons, playing 75 games a year, he'd need to average almost 30 points a game. That means he has to find another gear and stay at that new peak for over a decade. The big question for Tatum is a bit of a double-edged sword. We know he's durable, and we know he can be the best player on a championship team. But is his scoring ceiling high enough? He's a phenomenal scorer, but is he that once-in-a-generation point producer, like a LeBron or a Luka, who can just will his team to victory with points for 20 years straight? His path is less flashy for sure, but you can't rule it out. The verdict, so, after all that, who really has the best shot at the crown? If you're a betting person looking at the most likely path, based on what we've seen so far, the answer probably has to be Luka Doncic. His game is just built for scoring longevity, and he's already on a pace that puts him in the history books. He has the clearest road to the throne. But if you're asking who has the raw potential to make this record look silly one day, that answer is Victor Wembanyama. That alien factor is a real thing. If he can defy sports science and stay on the court, his unique talent could lead to numbers we've never even imagined. And all the while, Jayson Tatum is the marathon runner, hoping to outlast them all with steady, quiet greatness. For my money, Luka has the inside track, just because his game seems so sustainable and his production is already historic. But I want to know what you think. Who has the best shot? Drop your pick in the comments below. In the end, this chase for LeBron's record is going to be one of the great stories of this next NBA generation. It says everything about LeBron's greatness that it takes a basketball genius like Luka, a physical anomaly like Wemby, or a marathon man like Tatum to even make this a conversation. Whether the record ever falls or not, watching these guys try to climb that mountain is going to be amazing to watch, and it will end up defining their entire careers.